All right. Hello, Dr. Chen. I'm Kyle Trebbing, and I will be representing my final group project as you requested. So let's go. Let's get started. So our kickoff meeting obviously was the first couple days of class. I don't have any screenshots of the Fibonacci sequence and that first like group assignment that we did. So I'll just talk about it. So obviously we used the cards to decide where we wanted to go for our trip. 1, 3, all the way up to 31. And then we decided that we wanted to go to Italy. So we had 3 people go for Italy and 2 people go for France and Brazil. And then after that, we kind of decided that we wanted to pick our technology then. So we ended up picking drones, which was great. And it was a great group decision, honestly, that we were able to come to an agreement that such an early part in our group project. So here's the project proposal, which is still part of the kickoff meeting. So we have obviously the project study abroad to Italy. We have our date and time, which didn't change, which was great. That's been super great for us too, because that kept us on the same track with everybody on the same track. We have all of our participants, our project description, which we have not changed this either, using drone tech to map vineyards for sustainable agriculture. Great. Goals and deliverables. We have mapping vineyards and learning about SDG technology. We have everybody in each role as well. And then we have our key success factors. So we have students wanting to visit Italy, being able to speak and reach out to students to get them bettered in this field, and then being able to visit vineyards was another big one, obviously, because we want to be able to map them, and then not costing students too much. And as we know from everybody poking fun at us, that our project our study abroad trip definitely is cheap. This was super easy to get through and super fun to do, and kind of got us all together on the same page, and was a great team building exercise for us for sure. So we have our SMART goals. We have which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So we have for specific, we have get everyone to Italy and to and from Italy safe. This doesn't seem like it would pertain to the topic of the project being sustainable agriculture and drones, but specific in our minds meant something that we can 100% achieve, that we need to achieve. And getting people excited is one, or having somebody learn something is another one, but having everybody get there safe and get back safe, that's the baseline of the trip. So for measurable, so we have make sure everyone enjoys themselves. This is where we kind of took that and put it a step down to just, if you have a good time, that's all that matters. If you learn something, that's even better. If you want to take action, that's great. But just having a good time. Maybe you didn't enjoy something, but you liked the drone demonstration, or you liked the wine tasting. That's good enough for us. So for achievable, it's to encourage students to participate in the activities. Nothing is less fun on a trip when you have people that just don't want to participate. So we tried to plan activities that we think that everybody would actually want to do, things that we would want to enjoy. For relevant, obviously, it's a technology-focused trip. We have certain activities in there that focus on that, and that's just super relevant to what we're doing. And then for time-bound, we have 2 weeks in Italy, and then 2 of those days being for travel, so 12 days total spent specifically in Italy. So here's our product tree. Product tree is a great tool. Our routes, which are what we need to get this thing going, is passports. That's super important. You have talked about 100 times about how having somebody forget their passport is the worst, or it getting stolen is just is so super bad. So passports, everybody. Timing the events and flights. That is another thing that has to get done, because we can't just show up to the airport with no flights, or we can't just go to a place and expect special treatment. And then hotels and transportation booked and planned. This to us was a foundation of the product or of the project, because the obviously hotels, because we need some place to stay, but transportation as well, because getting a lot of students coordinated on transportation in a snap decision is super difficult. So that is important as we have it planned out. In our trunk, we have things that we would like to do. So we have things that we will be doing. We have a drone demo. So we have a drone demo at a vineyard. Definitely doing that. We are taking an Italian language class that's really important to us. And then we have tours of different areas in Italy. So we're going to a bunch of different cities. And so those are the things that we 100% are doing. Our branches, we have a vineyard tour, visiting the different cities. Maybe not touring them all, but definitely visiting. And then some museum tours, which is great. And then our future stuff, maybe a designer store shopping, and then maybe seeing the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And then finally, in the trash can, we had an idea to maybe lengthen the trip and 2 extra days, so that we spent actually 14 days back to back to back in Italy. But we decided that would be not great, because nothing is worse than like having everything booked and then not finding the sweet spot for timing. So we decided to just cancel that and do the original plan. Finally, we have our speedboat. This is another great tool that we used. So we have things that are helping move us forward, things that are really pushing us in the right direction. So we have students excited for the trip. That is always great. Obviously, our flights and our hotels are booked. That's a big boost and getting everything going. And then we have the maximum number of students signed up. That's also super important, because that gives us enough money. And another thing that boosts morale, but it gives us enough money so we know that we'll be covered. And then things that made us feel good, knowing that we're going to Italy. That's awesome. Visiting a new country, enjoying the time that you're going to spend there. That's super, super great to make you feel good. Places that we wanted to eat get booked. So we had a couple places, it'll be on our Triphobo that I'll show you, that we wanted to eat. And so we were able to get those booked. That's great. And then fitting everything in the same amount of time. One thing that I think some people struggle with when planning a trip is that they'll either do way too much, or they don't think that they have enough time and they'll do too little. Also, that's my cat. Sorry if you see her. She's just hanging out. Anyway, sorry. Getting, if you either plan too much stuff or you don't plan enough stuff, then you lose out, or you just lose out on doing things. So fitting everything in the right amount of time, having everything to do during the day, that's just going to do great. So things that are holding us back right now is the timing of the trip, not the planning of events, but when we are going. That took us a while to just obviously we decided the first day, but we talked about it for pretty much the whole class period of when we wanted to go, and then limit on our budget. That just always is going to hold us back, and then not getting reservations where we would like to eat. So those are things that are going to hold us back. And then we have these future risks, so things that we can't see. Flight delays. You're going over an ocean, things could go awry and you could get a flight cancellation. Nobody likes that, but it could happen. Booking issues when we get there, that's another thing. We could get to a restaurant or get to a hotel that says they have a reservation for us, and then they end up not having a reservation for us or something like that. That's not great. And then obviously, again, back to passports, because you scarred us with it. Somebody forgetting their passport. That's a future risk that would just not be great. All right, here's the work breakdown structure that we made. So at the top, we have our study abroad in Italy. We have our 5 sections that you want us to have. So we have all 5. We have academic, social, cultural, project management, and then our other category. So for academic, I'll just go through a couple of them. The biggest ones were drone demo and Italian language class. We figured that the language would be an interesting thing to come home with, because you can go to a foreign country and then not learn any of the language. I was in France and I didn't learn a lot of French, but if we take a class, spend a good day doing it, and then be able to use that while we're there, and then practice, that's great. And then obviously the drone demo technology. For social, the biggest one that I'm excited for would be a wine tour or a vineyard tour, or sorry, a wine tour specific barrel section. We have a vineyard tour and project management, but a wine tour, it's super fun. Drinking wine, trying wine, and the wine capital of the world. For cultural, the 2 biggest ones were Leaning Tower of Pisa visited. It's super famous. It's a cultural very culturally important part of Italy. And then another one that I would be excited for is the Italian cuisine class, where we would take a class cooking pasta, making sauce, all kinds of stuff like that. That would be super fun for me. Project management is next. The biggest one would be the tour of a vineyard from a business standpoint, not from a social standpoint. So we would talk to the owners and the corkers and all these different people who, run these huge, multi-million-dollar companies, basically. And get a nice look at what happens. And our other church tours, there's a lot of super famous churches in Italy. There's lots of famous churches all over all over Europe, but there's a lot in Italy. Shopping, just because shopping, and then our Venice boat ride, on one of the down one of the canals. It'd be really fun. So this is our trip hobo. This is just a screenshot of one page. Our project report has the full link to the trip hobo. But so just to go over a few things, we have, this is catered to what we would want, what we needed to do. The day that's not on here was day 7, that has the drone demo, and day 11 has the vineyard tour on it. But right now, so you see, we travel Boone to the Vatican, and then we stay in a apartment, and then we're going to do Vatican Museum off the bat. We have the palace, and then we have the Baldacchino and Dome in St. Peter's Basilica, and then we have dinner time. So because we have to fly to Italy and go into the Vatican, we don't do anything else that day. Next day, we have at the same apartment, we go to St. Peter's Basilica, the main building, then we're in the tomb, then we're in the square, then we're going to get some lunch, and then it's the Vatican Gardens, and then free time for the rest of the day. Dinner time. Do something at night. Next we wake up, and then we take I think I had it written down on our project report, we take a train to Pisa, and we stay in a house in Pisa, and we go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa on day 3. Then we have, and after we get there, we have lunch, obviously, and then we have a couple visits to stop at, and then we have dinner time. Another place we wake up the same day, and then so we only spend one day in Pisa. Then we go to Como. We have an apartment when we get to Como, and then we have a full day taking the railway, going to the Basilica Fedeli, the Cathedral of Como, obviously super famous, and then the Broletto of del Como, and then we have dinner time. So that's just a quick screenshot. The other things that were super interesting that we have on here is we have a dinner reservation when we're in Venice on a riverside restaurant, which is super cool. And then obviously the drone tour and the vineyard tour, or drone demo and vineyard tour, is really cool as well. So next up we have our scavenger hunt. So here's a screenshot of the YouTube video that we have, and then we have a link. I have a link to the page, but it doesn't work. I tried it earlier, and it won't let me have access to it, and I don't know why, but I do have the video of the scavenger hunt, the screenshot showing that we did it. So we'll go on to the next one. Next up, we have our phrases for speaking with the locals. I'll do it now since it's just me. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I will say some phrases. We have ciao, piacere de conoscerti, which is hello, nice to meet you. We have come va oggi, which is how are you doing today. Then we have grazie per l'aiuto, which is thanks for your help. This is just speaking with locals. Next we have dealing with some problems. So obviously the first one up is where's the bathroom. It's dove il bagno, which is great. Then we have how much does this cost, which is quanto costa. And then we have mi dispiace non parlo italiano, parli inglese, which means I'm sorry, I do not speak Italian. Do you speak English? So next we have our sales pitch. So we changed this after the presentation outside the coffee shop. So we changed the slogan and the acronym because I think we wanted to fine tune that for the this because of what we got on our a QR code. So we have the slogan, which is to travel and make the world a better place! Exclamation point. I think that's pretty good. And then the acronym, which is yours truly, is Italy. Interested in drones, travel to Italy, acquire knowledge about technology, learn as much as we can. You definitely want to come. I thought that was pretty good, honestly. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I thought that was pretty good. So this is our 5W1H that we updated as well. So what? It's a study abroad trip to Italy. When? 2 weeks, June 1st, 2023 to June 14th, 2023. Who is for any students interested in traveling abroad. Where? It's obviously different cities in Italy. Why is to learn about technology used in Italy and appreciate all of the culture there. And then how is the $1,400 from each student. And then I would also put flying to get there and back. So this is our AI generated art. So we have, I think what we put in for, so the first one we put in Studio Ghibli Italy Lake for the first one. And then we did Drone Italy Mountain City. And I think that's what we got for the other ones. And I love the first one. I think the first one's super neat. It's like abstract, but anime, but like, I don't know. I just think that one's really good. So this is the transcription that we have. I just took a screenshot of it. That's just proving that it's there. We did this, and so it was actually really neat to use, and I would use this tool in a trip like this if I was getting information on something and I wanted to track down what everybody said and be able to cater the trip towards what people would like. And I think that that's a really neat tool, and we used it and we enjoyed it. Next is our flyer, so I'll open this up. That was so loud. I'm so sorry if you could hear that. This is our trip. I love the flyer. Ryan and I did this together, and I know you talked about liking it in class, but I just think that this is great. So we have obviously in big letters we have Italy, which we wanted to focus what it was about and not like why first. So we have Italy in big letters, and we have 14 days on the top in a nice font that catches your eye. We have our summer study abroad, Italy from June 1st to June 14th. We have Vatican City, Pisa, Como, Pompeii, Lake Como, Leaning Tower, Pisa, Rome, Pantheon, Florence. We have all these things that we're doing. We have great did you know information. The Colosseum is over 1900 years old and is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. We have each of what you might do or see, historic structures, authentic cuisine, cultural atmosphere, and then we have our information. And I just think that this is a really great flyer. So we'll go back to the presentation. Finally, we have the end, which is this QR code does work. We have a link to our old sales pitch, and then we have the time and the price. So this all works. And then the last thing I will show you, because I didn't have it in my presentation for some reason, even though I thought I put it in there, is our 2 videos for itinerary for Google Earth and our walking tour. So I have both, so I'll open each of these. So here's the walking tour, going through different parts of Italy here, and then I have the other one, which is the Google Earth itinerary. So I wanted to show you that to make sure that I had both of those in there and I'm not missing anything. So yeah, thank you for letting me redo this presentation. Or not redo the presentation, but be able to increase my grade. I was just really disappointed that me and Ryan spent all this time doing this presentation and the final group report, and because somebody in our group thought that I did poorly for some reason, I got dropped down so hard when I spent a lot of time trying to finish everything up. But so thank you for giving me the opportunity to raise my grade again. I'm going to upload this video on YouTube, and then I will email you a link to the video. So thanks so much, and I will talk to you later.